Live from the Mainstream Cannabis Media Empire, I'm Travis Lippert, CEO of Veedverks Unlimited Limited, better known as Veedverks.
I'm Michael Miller, International Marketing Director for PanaceaLife.com.
And is it a beautiful day outside?
You know what? Every show I always say, it's absolutely gorgeous out, but it is. It's probably about 35, 40 degrees, pretty clear out there, just a beautiful, crisp Denver day.
You know what? The one thing I wanted to make sure I did before we went live is make sure that I pronounce these names correctly.
Okay.
But today we have people whose names resemble Sheryl Golland and Suzin Levy or Levi. We're going to find that out soon from CBDconnection.net. I apologize.
I see her looking at. I think you misspelled both. I mean,
misspelled
Suzin Levy. Yeah.
Suzin Levy and Sheryl Golland.
Hey, there we go. Yay.
Right. And also today, after we talk to them about their awesome business they've got going on, then I have a few things to say about Colorado House Bill 19-1076, which would amend the Clean Indoor Air Act in a way that I believe would ban candles.
Yeah.
And
the way it's written, it could.
Yeah. And we'll, of course, talk about Oklahoma, and also the FDA is
cracking down.
Maybe not the FDA is cracking down, but in Maine and New York City, and you said Sarasota, Florida,
I just read this morning.
Maybe North Carolina.
Yep.
Local health authorities are going into CBD stores and taking food that contains CBD off the shelves, claiming that since CBD is contained in a prescription product, then to put CBD in food is an adulterant. So I have questions about sugar and salt, which are also used in prescription products. So without any further screwing this up, I'd like to welcome Sheryl Golland and Suzin Levy from CBDconnection.net. Thank you very much for joining.
Hey, ladies. Welcome.
Hi.
Yay.
So tell us, first of all, tell us a little bit about what you guys did before you got into, or before you started CBD Connection. Where do you come from?
So I'm Sheryl Golland. We're from the Philadelphia area, and I have been in marketing and business and real estate for the last 30 years.
Nice.
And then we started CBD Connection about 4 or 5 years ago.
Nice.
So you've been around a long time now. In weed years, that's forever.
Yeah, it is. And Suzin?
Yeah, it feels like it.
For the past 18 years, I have been raising 2 children.
Nice.
And during that process of being a parent, I have never given up my connection to my previous life, which was a contract textile designer and marketing specialist for textiles that were used in corporate environments, hospitality, and healthcare.
Nice.
And for the past 4 to 5 years, while both Sheryl and I were using CBD for our own personal problems, we saw that the benefits were worth sharing with others, and that's how CBD Connection was born and developed.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of times why we ask, what someone did beforehand is a lot of us in the industry just segued over for what we did in the, prior to cannabis or hemp. I consulted Better Business Bureaus for 17 years, and I consulted Chamber of Commerce's. And when I got into the industry as VP of Business Development for a company called BioTrack THC, when I hit the goals that I felt comfortable with, I thought, okay, what do I do? Then it was the National Cannabis Chamber of Commerce. Did that for a number of years as president and founder, and then really wanted to learn more about the CBD and hemp side of our industry. It was kind of the emerging market started to happen, and I just, for the last 2 years, I've been heavily invested in it, as far as time and bringing people on that are authorities in the industry.
We thank you for bringing us on.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Suzin, before we talk more about CBD, do you happen to know Jane Barnes?
Of course I do.
Awesome.
Jane and I did collections for Knoll Textiles, one of my prior companies that I worked with. I know Jane very well. I haven't spoken to her in a long time, but if you brought my name up, she'd know it real fast. Just spell my first name and she'll know.
Where'd you pull that one out of? The crystal
I
ball
know
over
everything
there
about
again?
everything.
This guy's mad.
Commercial,
He's so
textile
good.
designers.
Everything.
You know,
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm his
the
co-host than
connection.
I am.
she made clothing for a while, and I've got one of her shirts. It's
Oh, really?
the fanciest shirt I own. It's borderline tacky now, but I still bust it out for special occasions.
Kind of like a Versace print.
it's
So the Jane
it's
Barnes
fractals.
line's beautiful.
It's fractals. She was the first, or I don't know if she was the first, but she was an early adopter of trying to incorporate fractals into fashion and
Mathematics.
Mathematics, yes.
She was the youngest recipient of the Coty Fashion Design Award.
Wow.
And it was through that award that she launched her company. And she went from menswear and then was brought into the Knoll Textile division, where they utilized the special yarns that she was using in her production and incorporated into a textile development. Fascinating woman, great company. I know both her ex and current husband.
Nice. Nice.
Cool.
How'd you guys meet? Did you know each other beforehand? Before CBD Connects?
We
dot
actually,
net. Dot net.
we
Dot
actually
net.
did.
Excuse me.
We knew each other from many years ago. We we're a couple years apart in school, but have known each other since we've been teenagers. So we one day got talking. Medical marijuana was in all the news, and we started talking about it and wanted to be involved. And we came across the good old phytocannabinoid, CBD,
Right.
and jumped right in. We
Nice.
became fascinated, started studying the science, and
Here you are.
here we are.
You're on the two guys. I don't know. I was going to say two guys in the podcast show. Just two guys.
So I was messing around with trying to
Yeah, I saw that.
pull up some
Some of her
technology while you while you're doing that. But so you guys, can you tell us a little more? So you go out and you find the best CBD products that you can find and offer them on your website.
Yes. So we started, when we were first looking to get into this industry, we intended to manufacture a product. And we found there was so much gray area of the law and so many products that were not made well. And the ingredients in the bottle were not what was on the label.
right.
With Susan's product development background also, she also recognized that right away, and we started testing and vetting other people's products and created a website so we could find the best products with the most efficacy and the best manufacturing processes, and developed relationships with these companies. And we have our secret sauce of products that we choose.
Right.
And we have a great selection.
You know, that's probably one of the largest roadblocks right now as far as our industry is disseminating the companies out there. You know, there's thousands of CBD companies now. I posted on my chamber Facebook page Friday about Amazon, CBD on Amazon. 7 products were tested, 6 came back with 0 CBD.
Are you kidding me?
No,
It's crazy. It's crazy. People do not know what they're getting.
it's unbelievable. And what really, I guess, ticks me off more than anything else is a lot of people take this product for their health. You know, some
Exactly.
really bad conditions that they might have, and you know they're ordering these products thinking it's going to help them, and it's just snake oil. You know, it really is.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. It hurts us all.
Yeah.
That's why we have people like you guys to help vet out companies.
Yeah. Sign some sunshine on that.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
And yes, and it's so important to us that, we have a lot of clients and patients, we will call them, who need our assistance, finding the right products for them, finding what works for them, the way a product's manufactured, other ingredients that are in it. It all makes a difference. And, everybody's endocannabinoid system is individual. So
Right.
it's trying a bunch of things and getting to learn what you think is the best advice for someone to where they
Right.
should start trying and where to grow from there.
We need to hook these ladies up with our guests from last week.
Now, who was on last week?
Elizabeth Mack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, what was it? Holistic Caring. She's out of San Diego.
Network.
Holistic Caring Network.
I think so.
She's out of San Diego. She's been a practicing nurse. She's got her MBA and probably doctorate in something. She has developed standard protocols for strains to conditions and all that other good stuff. But it'd be someone, it would behoove you. I'll send you her information. It'd be a good conversation between you guys. She's phenomenal, you guys as well. And, I see this right here. What's the biggest misconception about CBD and cannabis, in your opinion?
I think there's a big stigma connected with cannabis. And unless people are educated and really understand the difference between the cannabis marijuana plant and the cannabis hemp plant, they could be easily swayed and think that, oh, these people are all getting high on THC. So what's really important is for our listeners to understand that hemp legally should be less than 0.3% THC in content. And all the products that we sell are hemp derived. Nothing comes from the marijuana plant. And the products that people are using that are derived from hemp create different feelings than the high of THC. Neither one of us want to get high. We want to take care of the issues that our bodies are screeching and asking for nourishment.
We want to get high, though, don't we?
I'm not opposed to
I'm
it.
not opposed to it. So we've got.
You're in Colorado. You can do whatever you want there.
You're
We're
in
still
medical
just
state.
a medical state
You're in
here.
medical state. Yeah. A real good friend of mine went to a doctor here, and he's really skinny. He wanted to get his medical card. He walks in the door. Doctor looks at him and says, bulimia? I forget now. Something like that. Just gave him a card. It was funny. Yeah. But
Anorexia.
Anorexia, that was
You
it.
wanted him to use marijuana to gain weight? Is that what
Yes.
the idea was? How's
Yeah.
his weight gaining going?
He put on a few pounds, I guess. Yeah. But not to interrupt you guys. Sorry about that. I just thought that, yeah.
So I think misconception
Uh-huh.
is something that we are trying to educate others about.
Right.
You know, a lot of times when Sheryl and I first got started with this, people would look at us and say like, "Oh yeah, so you're selling weed," and we're like,
You're the weed moms.
Yeah.
"Weed moms,
Yeah, I like that
Oh.
title.
that stuff gets you high." People don't understand.
That it does not get you high,
Yeah.
but it helps with a lot of wonderful things: sleep, pain, anxiety. Think of the three most common things that people look for.
Sure.
Yep.
You know, I think that, you know, both sides of the product, CBD, works well. You know, straight CBD with 0 THC and, you know, the CBD products out there that have the 0.03. You know, I think I've been told by a lot of, 0.3. You know, the entourage effects definitely helps certain ailments.
Yeah. We're going to start messing around with CBG and CBN as soon as possible.
Yeah,
That's
agree.
Yeah, those will be new additions to.
Yeah, all the other phytocannabinoids that are coming into play, people are learning about all the 100+ compounds in the plant, and it's fascinating how much it works with your system.
Sure is.
And how many incredible sleeping beauties may be out there, sleeping beauty cannabinoids.
Yeah. There could be some, well, there is more that will be very beneficial to us.
Yeah.
You know?
We
Somebody's
look forward to that. We look so forward to the data collection that has been cast aside because of the way our government handled things before December 20th of 2018. Now that hemp is a legal commodity and the country has something that farmers were unable to plant and harvest
For so many years.
for so many years. There's so much that we need to know or we need to make available. And I can't wait to get together with one of our scientific friends tomorrow to hear, you know, what the plants are.
Right.
The latest discoveries.
It's
Stay on
exciting.
top of all of them.
Just still major hurdles. I mean, I don't know if you saw or read about the semi that was confiscated in Oklahoma. That was Panacea's.
Oh,
Yeah.
We didn't hear that.
I didn't realize it was Panacea's.
100% hemp. The state of Kentucky both times said it's 100% hemp. But if it was milled down, but apparently 8 out of 11 came back as hemp. One came back 0.4, one came back like 0.5. So if you in a plant like this, if you can find a bud and you want to try to do something where it's not fair, is you find a bud, because the bud will have maybe a little bit higher of a THC level.
Right.
But they released it to Colorado now.
Is Colorado ever going to give it back? Like,
Yeah,
here you
they're
go,
testing.
Oklahoma.
They're testing it. Right
Did they
now.
send the whole semi?
Yeah,
Mike,
I think it's here, but yeah, yes, ma'am.
was that a random stop for that truck?
No, I was involved somewhat, and we had the permission of Oklahoma to transport it through their state. Apparently, at 3:30 in the morning, the driver ran a red light. We had a security van following the truck, and and that's all she wrote. The dog said it was marijuana, and the roadside microscope test said it was marijuana.
Have you heard of that? A way to test marijuana, tell if it's marijuana or hemp by looking at it with a microscope.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't know there was a roadside microscope.
There
test.
isn't, but they did. They did.
there is
This is news to me.
Yeah.
in Pawhuska, Oklahoma.
In Pawhuska,
Good invention,
Oklahoma.
though.
Yeah, they like that.
Did they try the
microscope.
witching stick on it? Like,
I'm sure. What, the water rod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty technical over there in
Yeah.
Pawhuska.
Yeah, and it's been a nightmare. It really has. Especially the 4 guys. They arrested them. 2 guys. Yeah, 2 guys they were in jail for 2 weeks. The other 2 that just got out. They were in for a month.
Several weeks, yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
yeah.
So what's corporate policy with that from Panacea?
What's that?
What's the corporate policy with Panacea? Is the trucker your employee? Or
Oh, no. That was all the other side. They brokered the whole thing. We had nothing to do with the only thing Panacea had anything to do with is they bought the hemp. That's it. The transportation was from someone else, another company. The security was from another company. And just crazy. It's been crazy.
It's a mess, and it's not over yet,
It's
though,
not.
because even though the guys have been bailed out of jail, they're
Right.
still going to try them for transporting the largest load of marijuana, according to
18,000 pounds.
That's a lot of marijuana.
Yes,
It's a lot of.
Well, come on. Who's going to smuggle marijuana into Colorado?
I don't know.
That's just yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
it doesn't make any sense.
You bring up a really good point. All these people who are out driving the country, come spring, while all the crops are being grown.
Sure.
Beware, when you think you hit the green rush,
Yeah.
what did you really hit?
Yeah. Well,
Idaho happened. Yeah.
A week and a half ago.
9,000 pounds or
Yeah,
something.
9,000 pounds. And they're swearing it's hemp. I don't know. I just know Panacea stuff was hemp, and I'm sure it is hemp.
Well,
You know?
either that, or are the cops still going with that theory that somewhere along the way they offloaded all of the hemp and replaced it with an identical amount of marijuana?
Yeah.
They're still
Well,
trying
no,
to do
that was their
actually said
story.
that.
You got to get that microscope test.
Yeah, that was their story. Like the Fast and Furious, 2 side by side, 2 semis side by side. One has 18,000 pounds of marijuana and then 18,000 pounds of CBD, and somehow they flipped it. They switched it. Oh, you know
That's
what?
right.
It'd have been easier just to unhook the trailers and switch the trailers, I guess, if you think about it.
I think
Except
only
you had a
Hollywood
camera on the
pulls
trailer
that
to
stuff
have
off.
Yeah, but there was a camera on the trailer. It never, the doors are never opened, nothing. So, they were just really excited. The law enforcement, they were so excited. They thought they had the largest bust in state history. And but anyways. That's part of our industry, the CBD side.
You know what?
We're working out
It's
these
so
regulations
true.
as we go along. Sometimes it takes people being wrongfully jailed for a state to get its act together. If Oklahoma wants to participate in this hemp business, they're really going to have to do some soul searching and come up with some plans to deal with things like this, because hemp's going to be going across all sorts of. Wait till Crest puts it in their toothpaste, or Dr. Tom's, or whoever. Like, they're going to need so much CBD, it's going to be ridiculous. And they're going to have to deal with that, which ties in well with Suzin, with your background with the American Society for Testing Materials. And
there you go.
Can you tell us about, you were on the D37 Cannabis Committee. What is that? What's D37 stand for? It sounds awesome.
He's a numbers guy. Wait, show her your hand. Show her your hand.
Did you know that the U.S. government has a patent on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants and antioxidants? It's patent number 6630507. You should Google it.
See, it's just two guys in a podcast. That's all. I love it.
Well, we're on the D37 committee. It sounds like something out of James Bond.
Yes, it is. Tell us about it.
So with the cannabis and regulations and things like that, the American Society for Testing Materials is an organization globally that is responsible for bringing together companies and organizations that are working around various materials. In this situation, the cannabis is the material. And what the American Society of Testing Materials is adapting right now are various standards for packaging, for information,
for manufacturing,
for the way manufacturing's done, all the processes that are required to do good GMP, ISO, whatever it is in this world. And it's a global committee, and the different companies have assigned people to work on developing the standards. I currently am not part of one of the actual standard writers. I have a voting right as a member of the D37 committee to look at what they are writing about and trying to implement and sign off on. Everyone has to vote.
Right. We review all the materials that they're coming out with, whether it's how to clean a conveyor belt to, how to package it for safety.
I love that.
Or if there's a explosion while somebody is extracting, what are the methods that go into play in an emergent situation? It's really important that people understand when they're consuming products, they should go through standardization test points. And, one of the things that really stopped us when we were initially looking at how to develop a product and all of the steps involved in that was when you go into some of these facilities that don't have clean areas and aren't being regulated. And it's really important to both Sheryl and myself that this industry is now legal, and it needs to be watched over, where people can come in and know that if somebody's hired, they're going to be trained on how to use the equipment. If there's an emergency situation, who do they contact? Where do they run to get any of the supplies needed to take care of someone who could be on fire or an area that could be inflamed? And it's really just incredible that this committee of people is developing, and nobody is getting paid to do it. Everyone is volunteering and actually paying the standards committees to be a member.
Exactly. And it's like any other industry throughout history. They've developed standards for all of these industries, and new industry, new standards.
I'm just wondering how successful that could be without one of us on that board. No, I think that's fantastic. We've said it on the show before. We definitely need guidelines, standards, protocols, the whole 9 yards. I know that one of the first things that we're doing in our new facility is to get certified, GMP certified, FDA certified, the whole 9 yards. We've invested, or the owner has invested a lot of money in putting out good products, and we just bought a 43,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Golland, Colorado, And we're going to have a center of excellence there. That's like-minded companies in the hemp and CBD industry from all facets that we're segmenting part of the facility out for them as well.
Excellent.
So it's going to be kind of a cool thing. And hopefully you'll be in there as well.
I still need to see it. They kept this. I was scheduled to
see it last week.
I was scheduled to see it last week, but Colorado is trying to pass House Bill 19.
Tell the ladies about it. Tell the ladies about
Let me tell
it.
you something about. Oh, it's actually on that. Julie, would you mind grabbing that?
We have no hard stop, if that's all right. We kind of just wing it, as you can see.
That's the best way.
It is. It is. There's nothing rehearsed here.
Thank you. So, oh wait, here's your little late, but there's your copy of that. So they're trying to pass a bill that defines an electronic smoking device as ESD means any product that contains or delivers nicotine or any other substance intended for human consumption and that can be used by a person to enable the inhalation of vapor or aerosol from the product, and includes any product described in a subsection of this and any similar product or device, whether manufactured, distributed, marketed, or sold as an e-cigarette, e-cigar, e-pipe, e-hookah, or vape pen, or under any other product name or descriptor. And then it says smoking means inhaling, exhaling, burning, or carrying any lighted or heated cigar, cigarette, or pipe, or any other lighted or heated tobacco or plant product intended for inhalation, including marijuana, whether natural or synthetic, in any manner or in any form. Smoking also includes the use of an ESD. So according to this bill that they're trying to pass,
We're using you for when he's in front of the
this is Veedverks'
committee.
brand new electronic smoking device.
But it is.
And I'm currently
candle.
and I'm currently smoking it right now. The only purpose of this candle is for its fragrance. It could be CBD infused if they make us do that. And then also it's going to put a damper on our new fog machine liquid business.
Fog machine CBD.
CBD and
hey, come on,
terpenes.
you heard it here first. No,
Or just
joking.
regular
Yeah.
fog
That's a
machine
first.
liquid. It will also, I mean, here's another electronic smoking device for you. It's not ours. Ours is way better, but sorry, I'm holding it up to the wrong camera. But
Airwick.
these Airwicks, these Glad plugins, they heat up plant material for the purpose of inhalation. So that is also, I believe, going to be banned in Colorado due to this, if they pass this bill the way that it's written. So no candles, none of these things. And my fog machine liquid business is looking pretty bad.
This might sound crazy, but there's just crazy rules and regulations that states are trying to pass. And sometimes you have to reduce it to the ridiculous like they have. And you do that well.
Touche. I like the fog machine.
Yeah, why not, right?
It works great. It's an amazing. It won't be cheap. It won't be cheap, but
It'll get attention.
Yeah.
I fogged out this whole place the other night. It was a sight to behold.
I think that the standardization is a lot of people are looking to the West Coast because of the traction that a state like California and Colorado or Washington State has had compared to the East Coast. So
Right.
although the ASTM is developing standards both on a national and global perspective, we all are learning from the experience of states that have had a much longer or lengthier stay. And what's scary though is in California, 6 months ago, the rules and regs were completely different than what they are today.
True.
And this industry is still, as much as people regard it as, oh, they've been medical for so long, everything is being written in front of our eyes by the minute.
It's
Right.
so new.
The Google alerts, the
Yeah.
news that is broadcast daily. What we're talking about right now could be history tomorrow.
Yeah. That's
It's
why we
really
got to keep up on it.
fascinating.
Yeah, it is. Like California. I mean, You would think actually they would be the leaders in CBD and marijuana, and they're actually hampering their own ability in that state now, by things like that that Vapor Act or whatever. It's ridiculous.
Candle. It's the Candle Elimination Act of 2019.
But that's shocking for a state like here in Colorado. Mushrooms are going to be on the ballot.
Exactly.
Magic mushroom. And they're worried about that's just stupid.
It's not.
How do you feel about those mushrooms being on the ballot? That's kind of scary for me as an East Coast woman.
You know what? I know a lot of people. I don't. I know a lot of people that do. They swear by them. From even a mental health aspect.
Definitely.
And I think that certain drugs or whatever should be allowed, under the right conditions.
I agree. If it's non
ecstasy's allowed in California now,
really?
If it's prescribed by a doctor,
and
they have the right to prescribe it, marriage counseling and stuff like that.
I don't think plants ought to be illegal.
Nah.
And I think that mushrooms have helped a lot of people who I know get through, especially depression-related stuff. It seems like a small dose of mushrooms every now and then does some sort of reset in your brain that a lot of people swear by it, and we know that they're I've heard people say that they're safer than cannabis even. But another thing about them is that I would venture to say that they're pretty non-habit forming.
Right.
Like you don't want to go trip mushrooms every day.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to lead to any big public health problems. There could be issues with people driving while tripping. That could be unsafe. There could be a lot of problems related to that, but
sure.
Some of I mean, they got a way to deal with that. Make it against the law to do that, and then make sure that you can figure out if somebody's actually impaired versus
right.
Hey,
you can Google it, research it. Some of the greatest technological breakthroughs have been guys in Silicon Valley on LSD. Supposedly a lot of the techies out there do it, and it just, I don't know. I hear it opens up your mind, and I think we need to do next week's show on mushrooms. No, just teasing. But I can understand that from an East Coast perspective. Your feelings. I grew up in South Florida. It's more conservative out there on the East Coast, and it's like California. They were the first ones to allow medical marijuana, and there's going to be other states like California and ecstasy and mushrooms here in Colorado that we'll keep on pushing the boundaries on letting adults do what they want as long as they're not hurting themselves or others.
Yep. Very I guess traditional libertarian type of thought there. Yeah, but I've always thought that your right to swing your fist ends at the next guy's nose, and
I never heard that one.
Really?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of my motto to live by. To live and let live. If mushrooms will help you, like I just saw a picture on Facebook today of a girl who she's covered in blisters. She got what's called a Stevens-Johnson syndrome from a drug called Lamictal, which is one of the ones that was screwing me up. They thought I had that for a bit.
Wow.
And it's ruined. It might kill her. But that's a commonly prescribed epilepsy drug, Lamictal, lamotrigine.
Wow.
And they're prescribing it to, I mean, I bet half these kids, I bet more than half the kids who we know here in Colorado who are here because they have epilepsy and they're being treated with cannabis are currently or at one point were on this drug. Like if you take it, you have to titrate off of it for a year for every 2 years that you were on it.
Wow.
So like you can't, it's like talk about being addicted to a drug. Like if you quit taking a drug and it could kill you, like that sounds like a real health problem, public health problem to me. Yet that's So
I've
Now, you
seen it on
said something
TV.
interesting, Travis. That with THC and CBD, what is your opinion about starting and stopping?
it never gives me any problem starting and
Right.
stopping it. Yeah.
Me either.
Like
Yeah.
people take tolerance breaks. I'll tell you that, like I don't even know if I really do suffer from it anymore. But
What's that?
like cyclical depression.
Oh, yeah?
Like it was 1997, and I was in the Air Force, and I saw a commercial. Ask your doctor about Zyban to quit smoking.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, I want to quit smoking."
Right.
So I asked my doctor, the flight surgeon, and he said, "Oh, that's a shrink thing. So, you know, here's a psych referral." And I was like, "No way!" That I threw that in the back of my car. Never touched it, but I did call around to a bunch of civilian psychiatrists and said, "Hey, I want Zyban." And this one guy said, "Oh yeah, no problem." I said, "I don't have anything to say about my childhood or anything. You know, I just want to quit smoking. There's a pill for it." And so I went in, I talked to him, and he, after asking me a bunch of questions, he said, "You know, I'll prescribe you Zyban, but I think you might be bipolar type 2. And I'm participating in this clinical trial for this drug called Lamictal.
We need to get it paid.
And so do you want to be part of this drug trial?" And I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, 20 years later, so I was going to have to titrate off of Lamictal for 10 years, but I just quit taking it cold turkey 2 Christmases ago.
Wow.
Because I broke out, and I'm telling you, if you get this rash, if you're like, it'll kill you. It is. I thought
So
I
you
was
broke
screwed.
out in the rash too?
I broke out in a rash.
A rash? Yeah. Wow.
That I'll show you. It's permanently disfigured me. But
You're kidding.
Nah.
Wow.
No, I have.
From Lamictal.
I think it was from Lamictal, and I also think from an ACE2 inhibitor I was taking. But I'm just, they switched me to, I'm just done taking those drugs. I'm done, like, so.
Yeah, there's so many side effects.
Yeah. But I've never, I consume a fair amount of THC
Yeah.
and CBD and now CBG. And, you know, and the whole, you know, everything available in bud, that's typically how I consume cannabis is with flower.
Same here.
But, you know, withdrawal symptoms don't include anything except not being high. It's,
Yeah.
Right.
I've never,
It's the beautiful thing.
yeah, CBD marijuana. I've never like, oh shit, this is my last half a joint. You know, nothing like that. I'm responsible in what I do. You know, I rarely get high during the day unless it's the weekend. Then it's wake and bake until Sunday night.
Yeah.
You know, but I think why pharmaceutical companies are becoming so scared out there, it's because like what you just said, and we have the ability with the cannabis and hemp plant to combat a lot of the elements out there. You know, I said on last week's show, a chiropractor 8 years ago broke my neck. My first prescription was 160 roxycodone 30s and a year and 60 Xanax bars, and a year later I'm at 210 and 90, and I'm like, I'm addicted to this, you know. And they're like, well, you know, do you need more? You know, it's like, no, I don't want any at all. And you know, marijuana helped save my life. When you see it out there, and you know, they want to try to combat the opiate addiction with cannabis, you're looking at someone that did it.
Yeah.
100%. That and a little bit of Suboxone, which is a beta blocker. But the combination of the two, you know, I've had operations and stuff where I, you know, I had a responsible doctor who gave me painkillers for a couple days, and I've never had problems since, you know. But it does work. Cannabis can help people get off opiates if they want it.
That story makes me never want to go to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
It scares the...
That is scary.
Yeah. Well,
That's like my big, when they do the thing with your head, they're like, oh.
Well, they
That
went
almost-
like that, and you know,
You
a
sure
day.
you weren't at a karate studio or
Oh
something?
my! Well, the funny thing now, it hurts so bad. Okay, the doctor's like, "Well, you've never had adjustment. You'll feel better." The next day, I started losing some feeling in my arm and then in my leg, and I called the doctor. He wasn't there. They had a temporary chiropractor there. I went in there. She goes, I'm almost crying. She goes, I know exactly what to do. She cracked my neck again. Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
I always get that. 2 days later, I'm under the knife. Yeah.
Wow.
But cannabis is definitely a good thing for people wanting to get off opiates.
Yep.
I mean, for pain and just everything.
Yep.
You know.
And good job to Colorado. I believe that the opioid amendment or the opioid bill that would allow doctors to prescribe
passed.
cannabis for anything that they would prescribe opioids for passed. Not the full House, right, Julie? Just it passed the. Is that the last committee hearing to go before the full House? All right, so it passed one of the several committees, but
Right.
they voted for it 27-7, which is way better than it was last year when we
Yeah.
tried to get it passed.
Yeah.
And they also, once again, did the right thing with autism, and we'll see. Now we know that we've got a governor that's going to sign it instead of Hickenlooper, who vetoed the autism bill. Sorry. Do you guys have a favorite CBD story that, like, you'd like to share? Like, what are your feel good CBD moments where you've maybe improve somebody's life or a dog's life?
I like to tell the dog story because
Yay.
CBD can be consumed by anything that has a vertebrae. And just before the Christmas holiday, we had been tipped off by a veterinarian that she had a pet that really could use CBD. He was classified as a crazy dog. And I was like, you're a veterinarian, you call your patient crazy? And she's like, oh my God, some of these dogs are crazy. So to make a story somewhat shortened, the owner contacted us through our information, direct email to us. And I started speaking, I scheduled a consult with her. And I found out about the dog, and the pet owner was very concerned about giving this dog something from plant-based natural medicine. And he had been prescribed other pharmaceuticals. And I said, I'm going to put it to you this way. A doctor who is a cannabis doctor with children said to me, quote, if you give them CBD or cannabis, consider it sprinkles on a cupcake. So I explained that to this particular owner, and I said, you're giving him pharmaceuticals. They have side effects. All you have to do is try this. You can start and stop whenever you want, and it's worth trying. So she said, do you have a sample? I said, yes. I said, okay, we'll make an arrangement. I'll get you some samples. So she sampled the dog, and this dog was at a point where her husband would go to give her a hug. The dog would attack him.
I've seen that.
Insanely crazy the dog was.
Yeah.
The dog was worse than an infant. He would not let her out of the house. So, long story short, she ordered a bottle of our pet product that we offer, and she started him on a regimen. And by the time New Year's rolled around, within 10 days, she sent me a text saying, the dog's completely changed. And I said, see, and you were so paranoid and worried about trying something out that was natural. Right. And she said, my life's changed. And those are the kinds of stories we hear about humans. But to be able to help these pets that have such severe anxiety or freak out with lightning and thunder or fireworks or just are afraid to get in the car. So I feel good for the pet population, and I believe that every one of our pet customers is extremely happy with the way their pets are performing.
Sure.
We need to get some CBD tinctures in the fireworks stands for next year.
You are so
That's
right.
a great idea.
I was
That's
angling.
a great idea.
I was angling for it last year, but they didn't allow fireworks here last year because of the dry conditions.
That's like the Girl Scouts outside of pot shops.
Yeah.
Which they okayed
So
here
true.
the other day.
When you hear Girl Scout cookies, do you think Girl Scout cookies or do you think the strain Girl Scout cookies? Like,
Still Girl Scout
my wife told me,
cookies.
hey, we got some Girl Scout cookies. And I was like, yeah. Oh, also, yeah. But,
Wasn't it last year? They showed the young girls outside of the marijuana dispensaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the best sales of all the Girl Scouts.
That's right.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not all about munchies and stuff like that. It's kind of the culture we're in.
Yeah.
You know?
It's cool. Like if you set up your
if
Girl
I'm-
Scout
yeah.
cookie thing in front of Diego's.
I'm in for a box.
Oh, I'm
on a
definitely
diet.
buying
I'll give it
because
away.
That's
but
cool.
Yeah, I like that. you know, a lot of people don't.
I think it's a good pick me up.
Yeah. Still, Thin Mint's my favorite.
Thin Mints?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, which
I like the
tagalongs?
Samoas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Samoa's a guy. But,
You know, one of the other things I wanted to tell you about was we've had some referrals from dispensaries where people have had a lot of trouble with the THC. It gives them heart palpitations, it gives them anxiety or paranoia, and they're cancer patients or other, they're there for other reasons. And even the one-on-one ratios are just not working for them. And they've been referred to us, and we've been able to help them with the CBD, and it's been a wonderful thing.
yeah,
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that later. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
my-
why not? Let's just do it. I'm sorry. This is just the
tell
flow
you
of
this.
the way we do things.
My dad
Go for it.
he just survived a brutal surgery for pancreatic cancer, and they were, amazingly, he was one of the people that they were able to operate, and they got clear margins around it.
Nice.
But he had adenocarcinoma in one of 34 lymph nodes that they removed, and so they assume that he's got cancer elsewhere in his body. And so because he lives in Kansas, what he did yesterday is he got a chemo port installed, and today he's strapping into the chair, and they're going to fill him full of Gemzar, which is going to stop DNA replication in his body. It's basically going to, begin the. I mean, that's what happens when you die. It's going to stop the cells from doing what they're supposed to do, and he's going to lose his hair and his teeth, maybe, and rashes and fevers and incontinence and puking. And if he just moved one state to the west, the medical options available to him would involve something a lot gentler than strap it. My brother says that they call it riding the dragon, but getting in a chair and pumping poison into your body. So that's
That
so
a
there's
lot of people too.
there's my CBD unsuccess story. He needs more than CBD.
Yeah.
He can get we'll ship him all the CBD he wants, but he needs he's may not know it yet, but he's going to need THC.
That's where it really comes into effect more.
Yep. It's but I mean, today's the day. I've been fighting it this whole time. So moved to Colorado, just here are all the options. Here's the stuff. Read this.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter. He's gonna ride the dragon. Yeah. So
It's a shame.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
That's why we need to. I hope that this is the year that it happens. But this is why we need to deschedule or at least reschedule THC on a national level, so that he's not. I mean,
research.
This is gonna kill him. I bet this Gemzar is gonna kill him, and I mean that's what it does. It makes it seems like it's designed to kind of kill you, and they just try and kill the cancer with that, and then keep the rest of you alive, and hope they don't blow up your heart or something like that. But it's I couldn't even sleep last night thinking about what he's about to go through and how much different it would be if he just got in his car and drove about 7.5 hours west. It'd be a whole different story. But there's Kansas for you. That's why I'm going to that Kansas Hemp Symposium on the 23rd.
Nice.
Sorry,
I just went through that too with my mom. She passed away, but I gave her medication from our industry, and I can't sit here and say it prolonged her life or whatever, but her quality of life going through what she went through was incredible. You know,
the quality of life.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I moved back to Florida, and sometimes she would just be laughing her ass off in her bedroom. Just that by itself made me feel so good. But
it does.
Hopefully one day we can actually have some of our smartest scientists research this plant. You know, if there's I always say, if there's a plant that God put on earth for us, it's the cannabis and hemp plant.
Yep.
You know?
We agree.
Yep.
Yep.
Great.
That's why we have endocannabinoid systems.
Exactly.
You know what lobsters have? Exocannabinoid systems. It never gets old. It's my
The first time I've heard it.
what would you guys like to see in addition to what is currently happening in the cannabis industry? What are some of the things that you think that could be improved in this space?
Well, I think that the prices of it are very high. And I think that CBD, cannabis, all of it needs to be able to reach more people. There's so many people who could benefit that can't afford it. And I think that would be huge.
Okay.
And not have to worry about medical testing with traces of THC in your system, all the first responders and all the people who may have PTSD or anxiety or, you know, where a little CBD could go a long way.
Yeah.
Should be able to use it too.
Sure.
We need to start give a cop CBD. Like that would help so many things.
I just have to say,
It would.
the law enforcement here in Colorado, for the most part, are fantastic. You know, they're just pro marijuana. You know, so the police chief up in Seattle, when I was BioTrack days, and we won the state monitoring system, he came out on a public service announcement saying it was, you know, a great thing that's happened to the state. DUIs have went down, you know, arrests, violent crime has went down, all this other stuff went down, you know, so.
We need to get some of that on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's coming. It's you know, the problem with the East Coast is this. I think, let's say from here west, it's more laid back and the culture's different than the East Coast. The East Coast, it's more business and big pharma. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
It is.
It's like Florida. Florida has one of the worst Florida and New York, the worst medical marijuana rules and regulations I've ever seen. What it's done, it's set up cartels, and that's it. You know, when you can only let 10 growers have, 10 licenses in Florida for the first couple of years, and they could open X amount of dispensaries. What you've done is you made 10 cartel members. And the new governor of Florida just came out and said, this is the craziest thing he's ever seen. We're not going to deal with cartels in the state of Florida. You know, I consulted Better Business Bureaus. I believe in the entrepreneurial spirit of America. And, you know, if two ladies or two guys can go open and do something in this industry, I think we should have the right to, and not have to show $25 million in a bank account or something like that.
I agree with you completely.
We're a small business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
small. We're a startup. We're small.
Well, we hope to change that
We're with
somewhat.
ourselves.
Yes, sir.
I feel like a small startup.
But
We're never going to get bigger. You're ordering 18,000 pounds of hemp.
Two guys.
I'm like, somebody buy my fog machine liquid.
How much?
Oh, it's not going to be cheap.
I want COA on it.
If you want to buy it, I'll do it. It's got 10 grams of CBD in it.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It works great. I think somebody's gonna want that for like the best party ever. Like when you're not my sweet 16, but like my sweet 18 party. I mean, how could you throw like a proper, just awesome concert without blowing that through the fog
What,
machines?
the CBD fog?
Yeah, CBD fog.
I think if I need the entourage bag, you put some THC in that. If we're
It'll
gonna
have the
party,
0.3% THC for you.
anything? You know what? Before we go, from either or both of you, you know, what do you want to accomplish in the industry? What are you hoping to? For one of you on that.
And we both would tell you the same thing.
Okay.
We want people to get educated.
Yeah.
We want to be able to educate them through our website or through our personal consultations. There is just so much information about product that you can go to on the internet, but it isn't clean and defined. And our message to people is, know what to look for in a CBD product.
Ask-
Understand that it's okay to ask questions.
Exactly.
These are all really, really important things before you ever put it in my cart. You should know what it is that you're consuming, how to administer it, and how the different ways of delivering it into your body can work for you and not work for somebody else. It's not a one-size-fits-all product. We want people to be educated on how they use CBD and how it can really help them.
And also, don't be afraid of it. It's a natural plant.
Yeah.
Right.
It's minimal, if no side effects.
Right.
And it's worth a shot.
It sure is.
Side effects include clarity of mind, reduced
There you
anxiety.
go.
Happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we talking about CBD or THC now? No, just joking.
I think
No,
both.
yeah, definitely both.
You know what?
Yeah.
My when people say, what am I supposed to feel from CBD? I say, well, you drink wine? I said, and they'll say, yeah. I said, well, pretend you just you'll feel as if you've took 2 or 3 sips of wine. That's the only thing you're going to feel. You're not going to feel out of your mind. You're not going to feel like paranoia. All you're going to feel is a little adjustment.
Little
And balance.
relaxation.
Well, we got like a soccer mom here with a hemp leaf
I like
around
it.
her neck.
That's awesome.
That
There you go.
Yeah. Does anyone ever say, is that the pot leaf? And you
Yes.
correct them? No, it's hemp.
Well, I think people are afraid to comment. They don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
It's like the elephant in the room.
It's an intentional conversation starter.
Nice.
And it's incredible how many people will continuously stare and not
comment.
dive into the conversation.
It's so true.
Got anything?
I
I
make
have
people feel uncomfortable, Mike.
Yeah.
So there are a ton of CBD companies now. Like
Yeah.
we just went to what was it, Indo Expo,
Right.
and there must have been 3 times as many hemp companies there
From
as there
the
were
last
last
year.
year.
Absolutely.
It seemed like the hemp hall or the hemp the hemp pavilion was nearly as big, it seemed, as the
Yeah.
like where all the growers were.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you what is your secret sauce? How do you we know that you look for products that are good GMP products, but do you go to how do you go find these things? Do you go to expos? Do you Google it and look for?
We go to all the expos. After we go to the expos, we meet with people, we talk to the manufacturers, we make sure everyone has insurance, the COAs, and they can
Samples.
answer all of our questions. We sample every product that is on our website. We personally have tried it. Friends and family have tried it. We know what they taste like, smell like, feel like,
Yeah.
et cetera, and every ingredient that's in it. It's got to be transparency.
Yes.
Full transparency from the manufacturers. And a lot of products are also white labeled or private labeled.
Yep.
So it could be the same product in a different bottle from a different company.
Sure.
And you really have to know what you're looking for. And I think after all the years that we've been doing this, we've been able to find what's good.
Yeah. One of the great things about being in this industry, I can't tell you the last time I bought CBD
True.
and for a long time, cannabis. I mean, when I used to go to all the events around here, I'd be like, try this. Be like, okay, but
I think people should have to bring like a quarter ounce or something
to be on the show.
Yeah,
Let's
start.
Yeah. After this.
After
Just
this,
for you.
after this.
We'll start that with Vicente Fox. We have him on the 26th. Can you believe that? So we'll start it with him.
Vicente Fox.
Yeah, he's got to
on the
give us an 8.
26th
Melissa 8.
and 8th. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure there won't be any legal
Yeah,
ramifications.
no. You got to watch
Are you
that show.
calculating how much you can pick up over the next 6 months with your podcast?
No. Actually, CBD, I call it my health plan. I go into Panacea. I love the sublinguals. I mean, I like it all, but I just love the taste of those. And
They're good. I like this too.
And when you run pills like that, I love the breakage. If you press them too hard, they don't dissolve. Too light, they just turn all into powder. So you've got to get them just right. And no matter what, we always have a little breakage, and I get all the breakage.
You're the cleanup guy.
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool. Do you have anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
Influencers in your life in this industry, or mom?
Oh, where do we start? Absolutely. Friends and family, parents. Absolutely. Dr. Raphael Meshulam for the start, discovery, and the beginning of all of this.
Yep.
Kudos.
Yep.
The scientists at Temple that we've been working with that have been Temple University, been tremendous.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
We're having lunch with one tomorrow.
Yep. We've developed
fantastic.
some wonderful relationships with people who are doing research, and we get to learn what they're learning.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the number of people who are healthcare professionals who are entering the industry, at least as getting smart on it and offering advice to people. That's a big change that we've seen over the course of the past, just handful of years, like that.
Yes.
Like our guest last week, MJ for MDs.
I'm setting you up with
sponsored.
her.
Yeah. There's a lot of. It's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is a plug, I guess, but I'm going to say it
Plug
anyway.
away.
Ricky Lake and Abby Epstein produced that documentary, Weed the People. And although it's more cannabis, marijuana that they are referring to, there are patients in that documentary that are using high strains of CBD with THC.
Sure.
Bonnie Goldstein is a doctor out in California who has been someone I've been watching for a number of years. And it's doctors like her that are medical doctors that it was a personal experience for her that she was helping a friend of hers with cancer, that she saw the miracle of marijuana, cannabis as a plant medicine in place of pharmaceuticals. And it was her personal observations that led her to the journey in which she is delivering to all the families out in the California and really the country, because she will listen to people and hopefully be able to direct them, if it's not to her clinic, to someone else in the country. But it's doctors like that when you say the medical profession.
Yes.
Finally, although they were trained in one type of medicine, they see the benefits of a true plant-based medicine.
And they're finally learning the other and, its importance.
Do we have a question?
Oh, I have no idea.
I know. We've got so many people have commented.
3 million people have tuned in.
Woo! A record. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm terrible at that. We need a production assistant.
Yeah,
that
we
can
do.
Just feed that into us.
We need an intern.
can't.
Can you imagine? But then would it be two guys in a
media.
podcast and an intern?
And an
That's
intern.
too long.
Yeah.
No.
So people can go to your website, cbdconnection.net, to find these products that you have lovingly curated.
Yep.
And
Yes, they can.
that is with all of the information like we talked about earlier, with these products that are being found on Amazon that contain 0 CBD. Like if you want to avoid the snake oil, then this is a great place where 2 people have done their due diligence on these products for you, and you can go get products that are manufactured and according to CGMP, ISO, ASTM, all these acronyms.
Right.
Not ASTM yet. They're working on that.
But call us, email us. We, love questions. We love giving personal consultations and helping people one-on-one. It's really a personalized medicine. Right.
So cbdconnections.net, please go there. Please go to all your social...
CBD Connection, singular.
Yeah, okay,
Singular.
Connection. Okay.
Connection.
I say his company wrong. It's posted. So anyways, go like the Facebook, follow them. To all our viewers that we have, please share this. Let's help get the message out on these 2 ladies here and on cbdconnection.net.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having
guys.
us.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's wonderful to have you on.
Yep. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
I was
you.
going to say you guys. Ladies, have a
say
great
guys.
day. I say
Thank
guys
you,
all the
you
time.
too, men.
All right. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Bye now.
Have a
Bye.
great day.
You too. Another fun show.
We did it.
Two great ladies, two great people right there.
Yeah.
You know, what I really love about them is they're vetting out companies, and they really are, because I'm one of the companies. And, you know, you can go to Amazon and buy snake oil. Yeah, this right here, it has more benefit than those 7 companies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This has 10 grams of CBD in it. This is a.
Does it really?
Yeah. Dude.
Wait, does it really?
It
Do you have
honestly
a smoke
does.
machine, really?
Yeah.
And that really goes well in
Yeah.
it? Yeah. We got to do that one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do it in the room that does not exist. But yeah.
In the room that does not exist.
I want to just for one more time. I want to tell people, if you live in Colorado, that House Bill 19-1076 is trying to ban vaping indoors, and their definition of an electronic smoking device is so wide that it includes this new Veedverks brand electronic smoking device. It's fire powered.
But what if they
And
act
I'm
now?
smoking it right now.
But what if they act now?
And I'll sell you this for
See that, guys?
retail
Ladies?
that for it won't be cheap. That's all. If you have to ask, you can't.
10,000.
10,000.
10,000.
I'd let this go for. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's not going to be cheap.
No.
Because I mean, the point honestly is not to make a business out of that, but it is to make them come to grips with the fact that their law is going to ban candles and smoke machines.
You know what's crazy? That jug right there has more CBD in the 6 products that were on Amazon.
It's got a ton of CBD.
I
in it.
know. I'm just saying, it's just crazy out there.
That's a ton of CBD. That's
Yeah.
like 30 e-liquids are in there, basically. It's a great big, yeah. Works great in the fog machine, though. That's the main thing I can say about it, is that it's superior liquid fog, and also it has terpenes and CBD in it.
I think it's going to be a bunch of fun. So, in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, Vicente Fox.
Vicente Fox, former president of Coca-Cola Mexico, and then former president of Mexico.
Right.
That's
Like, I love that. You're awesome. Mexico.
Yeah.
It's like Veedverks Limited.
Verks Unlimited Limited.
That's it.
That was that's due to banking.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a great show. It's going to.
Then
I want to try to make it. Yeah.
it's going to be special.
Yeah, it is.
We're gonna have to get some people in here.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. That's for sure.
Vicente, I can't believe.
Yeah. And then Senator Diane Savino. Hopefully a week or 2 after that. You know,
Outstanding.
They've agreed to be on the show. It's going to be on a Friday, so that's going to be different for you and I. I think we'll be able to pull it off on a Friday.
We'll do it just fine.
Yeah, I know we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for joining,
Colorado,
everybody.
America.
We'll see you.
See you next week.
See you next week. Oh, and then this Thursday is
Sarah Gordon, the kitchen queen.
Yeah.
Sarah Gordon, the kitchen queen.
CBD and gluten free.
CBD free,
CBD and gluten free.
but it's okay. All right.
Something like that.
Some hippie recipes for patients who can't have all the regular Valentine's foods.
And I have one last thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
In these states where these health authorities are going in there
Yeah.
and they're taking CBD infused food products off the shelves, it is your responsibility to go fight. All you people who own those stores, don't roll over.
Don't.
You got to fight.
Yes.
You've got to stand up for your right. From what I've read, the health inspectors are saying that because CBD is in a prescription drug, Epidiolex,
Right. One company.
then to add it to food makes it a food adulterant. And so my question is, there are prescription saline IV drips, there are prescription glucose, sucrose, fructose, lactose types of things for diabetics, all
Right.
prescription meds. There are prescription iron pills, there are prescription calcium pills even. And all of this stuff is added to our food. So
We need to get a list of that.
hemp and all of its derivatives are agricultural commodities,
Right.
according to the Farm Bill. And just because the FDA says that oh, it's in a prescription drug, you can't put it in food. Don't take that sitting down.
Yeah.
Call your senators, get loud about it, because there is no difference between the CBD that you might put into a chocolate bar, between that and the sugar that you would put in there.
Sure.
Sugar is also an agricultural commodity that's used in a prescription drug.
Mm-hmm.
As the active ingredient in it. So I'm not hearing it. You can change. You can change FDA, and you're going to have to be the ones that change, because we're not going to stop.
Right.
And everybody who's getting raided, fight. Don't take this sitting down. Welcome to the game.
Yep. Part of it.
Cool. All right. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Take
you
care.
Don't get hemp here, get hemp somewhere.
I like that. See you guys. Bye now.